welcome to episode 252 of Manage the Wild. I'm your host, Nick Madsen. Do you want to improve your hunter success rate next year? That's what we're going to talk about in this podcast. So, you want to improve. You've done fairly well, but you're looking to gain that edge over the competition, which is obviously the animal, because none of us are out there trying to shoot a bigger buck than our buddies. That's for sure. That doesn't happen. You can go on social media and know that that's not the case of why people are hunting. So you tell your wife that you need a new scope, a rifle scope. You need the new Night Force $4,400 8x32, or the new spotting scope by Swarovski, or whatever it is. You need it because it's going to improve your overall success rate. You need that Can-Am 1000 with the turbo because it's going to help you see more animals. Well, studies have shown that there are some things that will help you improve your hunter success rate. But I hate to tell you, Can-Am 1000 is not going to help you see more. Studies have looked at age, gender, hours per day hunting, percentage on foot, scouting, was an ATV or side-by-side used, and the number of years the individual had hunting. They didn't look at the different types of weapons. Sorry. So when you tell your but they did look at side-by-sides, and this is an interesting one. I can tell you straight up that an ATV or a side-by-side will not improve your chances of harvesting an animal. That is not a good indicator that you are going to harvest an animal. So when you told your wife or your significant other that you bought this $50,000, $48,000 side by side that you're making $500 a month payments on, that it was going to improve your chances, I'm sorry, you didn't do your research, because that's not going to happen. I'll tell you what it will do. One, it will increase the number of payments that you have to make each month on something. It's going to increase the amount of debt you have. It's going to increase the amount of arguments you're going to have. And it's going to increase the amount of stuff you have in your garage. But it will not increase hunter success rates. The number one factor of whether you are going to harvest an animal or not was hours per day spent hunting. Hours out in the field, not sitting at camp. You can ask my dad and grandpa, because they spent many days in camps and they didn't harvest a single thing. I don't know how many times I attended elk camp and people would get blitzed the night before, wake up with headaches, and just go back to bed instead of going out hunting, and they didn't harvest anything either. Hours per day out in the field is the number one indicator of whether you were going to harvest an animal or not. Those who didn't harvest animals spent an average of 6.4 hours per day out in the field. Those who harvested spent an hour more, 7.4 hours per day out in the field. Number one indicator. Number 2 and 3 closely tied together. Preseason scouting was an indicator of whether you were going to harvest an animal or not. They were fairly high indicators of helping you improve both scouting and preseason or percentage out on foot. Walking and moving. Some people like to sit and glass, or they like to ride horses or whatnot, but just percentage of time on foot. You're going a little bit slower. You're not necessarily going as fast. You are covering a little more country than those people who sit in tree stand. So if you improve or increase the amount of time on foot, then it's a larger indicator that you're going to harvest something. And years of experience is another one. The more years of experience you had, the higher it was an indicator of you harvesting. But it's not always that, because if you have a lot of experience, you've been hunting for 40 years, and you just sit in your truck or side-by-side or ATV, then you are counteracting that experience. And so it's questionable whether years of experience actually works or not, because it can be counteracted by doing things that are against the rules, like driving your side by side 1,000 miles an hour up and down the road, creating dust and being super loud. So, if you are looking to increase, go out in the field, stay there longer. The more animals you see, also the more your hunter success rate will go up. It's all about seeing animals, getting off the roads, moving about, preseason scouting. You can't just get a tag and show up the day of hunting season and say, where's all the animals? Because by the time you spend 3 days of hunting, if you're in Utah, the average is between 3 and 4 days hunting. If you spend 3 days scouting during the hunt, then it's pushing all the animals around. You're not going to see very much, and you're going to have more difficult time being successful. So you're going to have to put in a little bit more time to be more successful. And that's the ways that you can improve your overall hunt. Hope you guys have a great day. Stay wild.